I noticed something. Sometimes you have to hold your peace. Now, as I'm enjoying this apple, happy Friday, by the way. When you're talking, conversing about, it could be anything, especially when on heavy subjects and you're talking to people about different views that are opposite of yourself and that are different, and that other person is triggered or something, you say something that they don't like. You share facts or opinions, or it could just be just your opinion. Doesn't have to be a fact. And if that other person is triggered, or people around, or even online, but definitely when you're out conversing with people and you're talking about a subject and they don't agree with it and they feel some type of way, if they go on this long tangent, and especially if you're trying to make a distinction to be like, hey, that's not true, you're just a small interjection, because they've went on for more than just a minute or two, or what it seems like 2 minutes. Sometimes you just have to hold your peace, even if you don't agree, even if what they're saying or their reasoning doesn't make any sense, even if it doesn't correlate with the topic or the subject matter of what you're speaking about. You just have to hold your peace and until until they finish. Even after they finish, sometimes you just have to let it be. Holding your peace by, just not saying anything. And then what you take from that conversation, how you gonna move, or how you gonna maneuver, just how to deal with that person if you decide to surround yourself with that person, at all. Now, if it happens too many times to where it seems like there's no trying to understand, that other person is trying to talk over you while you're stating your point, but then when they're going on long tangents, sometimes it doesn't make any, even though sometimes it doesn't make any sense, and they're trying to compare apples to oranges. For example, if the argument was, or discussion was, okay, Michael Jordan is the best player of all time, and you saying here's why, then they can say, okay, no, Michael Jordan is not the best player of all time, because look at, LeBron. He has this and that. But it's like, fine. But even though you compare and talking about different eras, they might bring up a rap artist. If they say, oh, well, this rap artist is better than Michael Jordan. And that's the most extreme case. How are you going to compare a music artist to a person that plays sports? It just doesn't correlate. That's the most extreme, basic example how I'm gonna put it. But when you don't hold your peace, it doesn't help anything, because it's gonna make you frustrated, and it's just gonna make them mad because you're like interrupting their point, or you're disrupting them. But then when you're making your point, then they interrupt you. So when you do that, and then when you say, hey, let me finish my point. I need to get, I'm not finished. Let me get my point across. Let me finish my statement. When they still want to interrupt you, just dead the conversation. Just say, hey, we're gonna, have to pause this conversation, or there's no point of having this conversation because you're not even letting me finish. I'll let you finish your statement, so let me finish, you need to let me finish my statement. When the person that you're having a discussion, or people that you're having a discussion with, are not letting you say your point across, you can't have no conversation with them. Those kind of people, because with those kind of people, it's like they want to take over they want to try to take over a whole conversation, and they just want to prove that they're right. Not that effective it is of the subject matter. Forget the subject matter. It's the point to where, oh, I'm correct in this situation. And instead of thinking, okay, in a sense, both people just have different points of view. Depending on the subject, or not that that person could maybe definitely be right on some things, and even totally wrong on other things. But the vibrance that they give off is what you say doesn't matter. And that's not that's not a healthy dialogue. So sometimes you just have to let them talk, because when you try to interject, or it just will sound like two, like smashing cans together. Let me know in the comments down below, have you tried to have a conversation about something, and then that other person just goes on a long tangent, and then when they pause for a long time, you're thinking that they're done, and then they're quiet, but then all of a sudden, when they don't agree, then they interject and be like, oh, let me finish. And then you're like, I thought you were done making your point. Then it's like almost like you're playing hopscotch or double dutch. Like, okay, can I make my point now? But yeah, I just noticed certain things I just want to share with you. Sometimes you have to keep your peace. And that's just one situation that I'm talking about. You have to, you have to hold your peace. Meaning, don't say anything. All right, y'all. Happy Friday.